It's Tuesday, December 20th. Welcome to Pastor Bob Daily. Well, it's long hair day. It was inevitable. I get a lot of questions from people asking me, what about long hair on men? When the Bible talks about it and says you shouldn't have long hair. Oh, really? And I haven't been asked this question more than, 1,000 times maybe in the last 4 decades. But let me talk about it one more time here with you today. Lawrence, one of my friends on Facebook, says, one question I need answered. How do we understand what the Apostle Paul is trying to teach us in 1 Corinthians 11, verses 2 through 16, with what he says in verse 14? How do you see this verse in the context of verses 2 through 16? Please reply. Lawrence, I'm happy to, and thank you for asking the question. Let's go there. 1 Corinthians 11, I'm going to start with verse 13. He says, consider for yourselves, is it proper and decent, according to your customs, for a woman to offer prayer to God publicly with her head uncovered? Let's start there. About women. Well, we'll get back to it. Does not the native sense of priority, experience, common sense, reason itself teach you that for a man to wear long hair is a dishonor to him? But if a woman has long hair, it is her ornament and her glory. For her hair is given to her as a covering. For if anyone is disposed to be argumentative and contentious about this, we hold to and recognize no other custom than this, nor do the churches of God generally. Well, the key word here, Lawrence, is custom, and it makes all the difference. He says in the first part of verse 13, he says, is it proper and decent according to your customs for a woman to offer prayer to God with her head uncovered? So we really have to start there. Are people in your church, women in your church, in worship and prayer with their heads uncovered? Are they wearing that ceremonial veil over their heads in the pure Eastern sense that Paul is talking about here? Because that's where you kind of have to start, isn't it? And then he says, what about that custom of men cutting their hair? That's a disgrace for them. And Paul says, we don't have any other customs. Well, who's we? First of all, Paul began to work with the Gentiles, not the Jews. And in Acts chapter 8:18, Paul actually gets his hair cut to work with them. He had long hair before that because they had no other custom than that. Well, where this culture no longer exists, neither do the conclusions, and we don't have the same culture anymore. We have a different one. Our conclusions are different. Our women don't wear veils over their heads when they pray now, and that was a great custom for that time, possibly. It just doesn't work for today. And the long hair issue is really a non-issue now as well, because men have all kinds of different lengths of hair, and through history they have, even during this time. The Gentiles had shorter hair, but many of the Jews still had longer hair. And so again, it all came down to custom. And what is the custom of your church today? And that changes from country to country, doesn't it? Paul, one of my Facebook friends, says, how do you go about defending yourself when people accuse you of being worldly because of the way you choose to look? Well, Paul is a Christian goth, and of course people are being critical of the way that he looks. And he says, Pastor Bob, how do you justify the way you look? You wear black, and I do, and I have tattoos, as you know. I have 00 piercings. I enjoy this culture, and people say, well, Pastor Bob looks like that because he's trying to relate to the youth culture. It's not true. I look the way I look because I like the style, honestly. And if I didn't like the style, I'd have something else. But that's me, and all of us have to decide what we're going to do and how we're going to look. And, worldly is an interesting thing, because some of the biggest corruption in the world today is done by people in three-piece suits with short hair. So worldly is a strange term, and it's one that the church has used for a while, and it really doesn't work. There isn't a dress code for the church. The church is made up of so many different kinds of people, and God asks us to celebrate diversity with people of many cultures and styles and customs and whatever, and one Lord, Jesus Christ. Well, God bless you. Have a great day.